welcome to the She Suite Society. This is your exclusive pass to come sit at the table, listen in, tune in, and hear about women who dare to lead, women who are owning their lives and telling you their stories. This will be a dedicated space for that type of conversation, and I invite you to come listen in. My name is Dalia. I will be your Sherpa through this journey. It will be high, it will be rocky, and it will involve some raw, honest conversation. Think of back in the day when there were talk shows. I'm not even sure if those are still around anymore. I haven't been watching cable in a long time, but talk shows that were there. Yes, those were a bit more scripted and talked out, but you still never knew what the person on the other end was going to say, unless that was scripted too, and maybe I'm just naive on that. This is going to be like that. We're going to sit down and we're going to talk to women who have sat in some sort of role. So I'm going to be talking to athletic directors, dental hygienists, doctors, business owners, CEOs, HR directors, VPs, real estate professionals, all sorts of professionals that come from a wide variety of types of industries. And they will all have one thing in common. They will all be women. This is a channel for women to express honestly, openly, and in the most vulnerable way possible what their life journey has been. Think of your 5-year-old self. When they grew up, what did they want to be? What did you want to be when you grew up? And if you saw how you turned out now, as your 5-year-old self, remember who you were, literally channel that one in. What would you think of you today? It is that type of conversation that we will be having. Yes, it is called the She Suite Society, play on C-suite. I personally worked my tail off to get to a C-suite position. I thought that was the right thing to do. And I'll tell you, I got here and it's funny. It's funny in all the unfunny ways you could think of. And who am I? My name is Dalia, and I have lived 8,000,005 lives at this point. I'm a first generation American by way of Egypt. My parents immigrated here back in the late 70s because they believed in the American dream. They wanted better for themselves and for their legacy. And in the true American way, or in one of the true American ways, they made it. They made it really big. They had a big company, they made millions, and then they got it all stolen from them because of a bad business partner. And they went from the American dream to the American nightmare to then finding someplace in the middle where they were able to live out the rest of their days. And they both passed away. I'm an adult orphan. Not at the same time. They passed away very differently. And it was a very rocky, as you can understand, relationship, childhood, upbringing. And in time, I will tell my story in full. Just understand that that was my childhood. I got to see what that was like. In my path for career, I did everything from retail to restaurant. And now for the last 20 years, I've been sitting in real estate. I work in property management. My main focus is to talk about AI and technology. I'm really good with that. Don't judge me on my video editing, but I'm really good with AI and technology. And it's not because I was born knowing how to do it or learned how to code. It's because I find it fascinating. I went to college for science, but true science and honestly, women's studies. I learned all about humanitarian rights and at the same time, all about every aspect of science. I did astronomy. I did molecular genetics. I wanted to know everything from a cellular level to outer space. And I'm a child of learning. I believe that as long as you're learning, you're always growing. The minute you stop learning is the minute you stop growing. And then what are we here for? But for now, this is not a channel about me. This is a channel about me elevating other women's voices. And that is what I'm inviting you into. You will now be able to sit in it with me, just like I have been able to my whole life. And you will hear some real conversation happening. You will learn some stories that you never would have thought come out of people that you might know. They might be your neighbor, and you would never know that that was their whole life story because you've always known them as the person that works in some corporate office building somewhere, or the mom, or the school bus driver, or the person that you just say hi to when you're picking up your mail. You just never know the stories behind those eyes until you sit down and have an honest conversation. And that's maybe uncomfortable for a lot of people, but for me, that's about the only comfort space that I know. And I'm inviting you into that. So I'm excited for you to hear about these women because you will feel less alone. You will feel like you are part of a community where we all support one another, where we're here for one another, where we listen. We do not always agree. That was my favorite TikTok challenge. How do they say it? We listen and we don't judge. And that is this entire space. We're going to listen and we're not going to judge. It's a judgment-free zone. And we are here to just celebrate everyone's journey, learn from and support from it. And in doing so, you will grow. You will find yourself viewing the world slightly different, one conversation at a time. We should always be learning and then paying it forward, spreading that knowledge, but actual knowledge without indoctrinating everybody. Again, you can't have a safe space where you celebrate every individual person and individual journey if you're asking them to follow one fixed belief. That's not what this is. If you're looking for a cult, go join one. This is not a cult. This is a place where we can all authentically be ourselves. No hate, no judgment, no berating, only, I won't say only positive vibes, but that is the main goal. Because I don't believe in toxicity either of any sort. Doesn't mean I'm perfect. Doesn't mean this channel will be perfect. We're going to have some really raw, hot, hard conversations. You're going to hear some stories that you might have only heard in a textbook if it wasn't burned by now. You're going to hear some things. You're going to be exposed to what life is like for others, and I think that's where the beautiful part happens. You'll feel less alone. You'll feel more cultured. You'll feel more educated, and hopefully, you can take some of that home with you, and or listen in your home and grow from there. Connect with one another. This is all about connecting. We are creating community. Here on this channel, this is about creating community of women, women only. So men can listen too if you'd like to listen, but this is for women. I'm being very explicitly clear on that. This is not a channel for men. So, and by the way, if you're women or woman identifying, this channel is for you, as is what I call myself. I'm your empowerment Sherpa. If you ever want to talk to me, you can do that. You can do that on this podcast, or you can book time to just talk to me. And I'm happy to do that as well, because this is about the overall well-being and building a community, not just locally and not just nationally. I am not in France. I am in the States. But you just never know, because women exist everywhere. And regardless of where you are, we all still experience life in very similar ways. And that is what I hope for everybody to gain from this channel. I can almost promise you it will. So here we are today, listening in to the She Sweet Society. I encourage you to join in and listen every week as I talk to another one of your favorite people that you will come to know and learn from and grow from. And I'm excited to be the one to help you do that. And remember that your seat is at the table and it's waiting for you. Join us next time and listen to the amazing stories that you're going to hear from everyday women. Can't wait. Bye.